Hello, I would like to talk today about something that is really important for many people who are learning how to translate. Okay, I'm gonna actually be very quick and very to the point, and I'm gonna make this video very short, but it's very condensed. So please pay attention to every single point that I make today, because it's very quick. At the same time, it's very rich in its information for you. We're going to look at this PowerPoint, and I will explain to you as we go along, but please pay attention as much as possible. Here we go with the PowerPoint. Of course, this is something that I have actually done today because one of my followers in my channel has asked me, her name is Hind Al-Farra. She sent me about 8 hours ago. She sent me a question or asking me to translate for her a text, which has prompted me to do this PowerPoint about her text, because that's what I'm using. Her text that she sent me only about 8 hours ago. Now, in this particular presentation, I will be talking about the various steps. The first is the sentence to be first analyzed and then translated. I will be talking, when I'm analyzing, I'll be talking about cohesion, structural analysis. I will analyze the structure of the sentence, which is the ST, source text. And then I will talk about also Hussein al-Burfas, ahlan wa sahlan. And I'll talk about coherence, analysis of the concepts, compared and contrasted, and please pay attention to that. And then I will present the translation of that sentence, which is given by Hind Al-Farra, which she has asked me to translate only yesterday. Now, in order to be just to follow a little bit closely, here is the actual text that she has sent me, which says, considered a respected Muslim scholar and ideologue, Al-Qaradawi pushed for Islamic modernism, which aims to reconcile the faith with Western ideas and values such as democracy, equality, and civil rights. This is the sentence, this is the text, which I will be careful not to say how to describe it, because I'm going to analyze it first. And this is the first job. Actually, Christine Nord, if you know Christine Nord, she's well known for quality assessment. She has suggested to analyze the text, as well as Julian House. Now, how do you analyze the text? We look at the cohesion, as I promised you, which will have analysis of structure. And I have 9 points to discuss here. Alan Hussein. Tarjama Shafawiyya, there is, I don't know of any. It's not, you need to practice more. I can do one for you later on if you send me a text or the video itself of a speaker. First of all, we analyze, we see if it's a phrase, clause, sentence, or paragraph. What I read, is it a clause, or is it a sentence, or is it a paragraph, a phrase? We're going to talk about the 3 clauses that are in one sentence. We'll talk about verbs, or as part of clause or sentence structure, subject, verb, object. We talk about verbs acting as adjective or infinitive. We talk about adverbial clause, noun phrases, similar adjectives, and number 8, noun phrases with shared object or adjective. And finally, enumeration. Let's go for the first one. And the first one is this the text that I've read to you? Is it a phrase, clause, sentence, or paragraph? You can see it is just one single sentence with one main verb, which is pushed for. And the main subject is Al-Qaradawi. Okay? So that is really the main verb and main subject. We need to establish if it is, secondly, we need to establish if it's an adverbial clause. Is it an adverbial clause? And if it is, then we need to know what is an adverbial clause. We have considered a respected Muslim scholar and ideologue. This is an adverbial clause. And we have a main clause that comes with it. And the main clause is Al-Qaradawi pushed for Islamic modernism. So there is a subordinate clause. So there are three clauses here. So we have to say that there are three clauses, one adverbial, one main, and one subordinate. And the subordinate is which aims to reconcile the faith with Western ideas and values such as democracy, equality, and civil rights. And here is the first clause, the second clause, and the third clause. The first clause is adverbial, the second is main, and the third is subordinate. We are still analyzing, and we are looking at the structure. Here, what are the verbs that act as verbs of clauses? They are considered, pushed for, and aims. These are the three verbs that are in the three clauses: the adverbial, the main, and the subordinate. And these are the ones that we have to consider. And then we need to know which verbs in this particular text are infinitive or adjective. Of course, once we establish that the only main verb of the whole sentence, which is pushed for, and the other verbs of the other clauses, which is aim, as we've seen it earlier, aims and considered, as we know them, we know that this respected is an adjective, and we know to reconcile is an infinitive. أن يتوافق يعني مصدر ممكن نترجمه أن يتوافق مع أو التوافق معه أو يتصالح معه. So this is what we need to establish as verbs that are not verbs but acting as adjectives. And then we look at the adverbial clause to see if there is elliptical. Of course, it says considered a respected Muslim scholar and ideologue. Of course, considered, it means he is considered, i.e. Al-Qaradawi. So you see, we need to know that this adverbial phrase is hanging on the main phrase, which is to do with Al-Qaradawi. Al-Qaradawi pushed for Islamic modernism. So that is a main, the adverbial phrase or clause that we need to be aware of. Also in the analysis, how many adjectives, how many similar adjectives? We have the word Muslim and Islamic. And of course, Muslim world, we say Muslim world, we don't say Islamic world, or يعني نقول في اللغة العربية العالم الإسلامي، العالم الإسلامي وليس العالم المسلم. So in English, they say Muslim world, but in Arabic we say العالم الإسلامي. لا نقول العالم المسلم. Okay? But if it is in English, if you say Islamic ideas, Islamic concepts, but you don't say Islamic world, you say Muslim world. So there's a difference in English and Arabic. There is Islamists and Muslims. Of course, Islamists are a negative word in English, which means they are a little bit being extreme. Muslims are everybody who is Muslim. And here are the two words, Islamic and Muslim, used in the text. And then we have how many phrases, noun phrases, sharing the same adjective. We have, for example, the word respected and Muslim. These are two adjectives which are actually shared by two nouns, scholar and ideologue. In other words, a respected Muslim ideologue and a respected Muslim scholar. We need to be aware of that. Also, there's the Western ideas and values, which means Western ideas and Western values. This is a kind of sharing between each other. And then we have what's called, lastly, this is the last point here about cohesion, which is in the analysis of structure, which is enumeration. Enumeration means counting the number of nouns used one after the other. For example, you got democracy, equality, and civil rights. 3 nouns. So you need to count these nouns when you are, if they are enumerating, you put on top of them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in order not to miss any of them when you are translating. And now we move to the next topic, second topic, which is coherence. And here's the meaty stuff here. Here we have coherence. For example, with regards to Islamic modernism, I don't know whether we can say in Arabic al-hadatha al-islamiyya, because it doesn't sound right. to say الحداثة الإسلامية كمدرسة يعني. As a school, we cannot say Islamic modernism, we have to say modernism in Islam. بمعنى most welcome Hussein. He's sending me a message here while I'm talking. Islamic modernism, الحداثة الإسلامية يعني it doesn't sound right in Arabic. We say الحداثة في الإسلام, and it should be in English as well, modernism in Islam in general, to apply it to this. Now here we have the contrast. We have the faith and we have Western ideas and values. These are contrasting each other and contrasting and comparing. And you can see that it is the faith which needs to compromise or reconcile with democracy, equality, and civil rights, which are, according to the text, they are Western ideas and Western values. You have to think here. There is an implicit meaning in the way it's been phrased in English. Here, the verb that comes with these two, the faith and Western ideas and thoughts or values, the verb is to reconcile with, which is interesting. Cambridge Dictionary defines the verb, this verb, reconcile, means to find a way in which two situations or beliefs that are opposed to each other can agree and exist together. And that is in itself showing that the faith and the Western ideas and values are contrasting with each other. This is what the implied meaning of the text is. So, and we know that to reconcile means يتصالح مع, يتوافق مع. And it is the Islam which needs to يتصالح مع. So here there is a kind of an implicit message or hidden agenda in a way that the Islamic faith or the Islam, the faith, has no such ideas and values according to the text, i.e. it does not have or entertain democracy and equality and human rights. And that's what we can see in this text here, okay? And that's what it's telling us here. So now we can move on to the translation. Here is the text which needs to be translated, and here is the translation. Of course it says considered نظرا إلى أن القرضاوي. Look at this. نظرا إلى أن القرضاوي، أنا جبت القرضاوي للبداية. نظرا إلى أن القرضاوي هو عالم ومفكر مسلم محترم، Muslim because Muslim، كان يدفع باتجاه مبدأ الحداثة في الإسلام. مبدأ الحداثة في الإسلام. ويهدف هذا المبدأ، يعني أنا كررت كلمة المبدأ مرة ثانية. ممكن أقول هذا المبدأ الذي كمان بيصير. ويهدف هذا المبدأ إلى توافق هذا الدين مع أفكار الغرب وقيمه. يعني أنا ترجمت كلمة Western values and ideas، ممكن نترجمها بطريقتين. نقول الأفكار الغربية والقيم الغربية. الأفكار والقيم الغربية. We can say that as well. But I said it, the style, it's a style here. أفكار الغرب وقيمه، مع قيمه وقيمه، بما فيها الديمقراطية والمساواة والحقوق المدنية. As you can see here, I've started with considered. ممكن أقول باعتبار أن القرضاوي هو عالم ومفكر ومسلم محترم، دافع باتجاه الحداثة في الإسلام، التي بمعنى الحداثة، هذا المبدأ الذي بحيث أن هذا الدين يتوافق مع أفكار الغرب وقيمه، بما فيها الديمقراطية والمساواة والحقوق المدنية. You can see that the English text has actually implied that this, what I just earlier has actually explained. I hope that I have actually been very, very quick and at the same time giving you a good way of analyzing the English text and see from which angle this English text is actually approaching the concepts and how you translate them into Arabic as well. Of course, this will reflect about توافق هذا الدين مع الأفكار الغرب والقيمية. يعني this one is you can tell how the writer is really trying to put forward about Al-Qaradawi's views. Have a nice day.